Hi, and welcome back to the Glow Up Girl podcast. I am Kyra Mitchell-Lewis, and I am really excited today to be joined by Briana Parks, who is a photographer and an owner of Briana Parks Photography. And she is joining me today. She has a very amazing and inspiring story. She is a young woman. I hope she's not offended by me saying that, but she is definitely doing a lot of amazing things right now. Going to college, she's a wife, she's an owner of a successful business. And so she's here today to talk about her journey and then also really how she said yes to a second opportunity at doing something that she loves. So welcome to the Glow Up Girl podcast, Briana.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and jump in and let's get started. Let's get to know Briana a little bit better.
Yeah, so my name is Briana. I am 21 years old, and I'm actually originally from California. My husband and I are living in Idaho right now because we're both attending college. I started my photography business officially during my beginning of my sophomore year of college, after I had just gotten married. I had always been interested in photography, but never in a million years did I think I could actually make it into a business. When I got married, my husband and I had around $600 in Target gift cards. So I convinced my poor husband to spend all of the money on our Target gift cards to get a camera and try out photography and see if I can make it a business. And so here we are almost 3 years later. I'm still in school. My business is based out of California, so I commute on the weekends all the time. So that's
wow. She says that's about it. Yeah. But that's definitely a lot. First of all, that is love. You did not have to convince him. He was going to give you all this Target gift.
Oh yeah. Well, I was kind of a little bit into it in high school. I don't know what I was thinking. I think it's just the Capricorn in me. I'm just super spontaneous and impulsive. So I just convinced him and he said yes. And I don't know why he did, but here we are.
Now I have to ask a question. Now, are you a true Capricorn or are you on the borderline?
I'm on the borderline. I'm born on the 19th. So
you know what? When you said that, because I'm an Aquarius and I was born on February 11th.
Okay.
And spontaneity tends to sort of bleed more into, that's why I wonder if you must be like a borderline Capricorn Aquarius. Like
yeah.
Yeah,
I probably am. I think the cutoff is like the 21st or something. Very close.
Yeah, because I am married to a Capricorn and they're not always spontaneous.
Oh yeah.
and he's a Capricorn at the start. Like he is like a true like Capricorn. So that's why I wonder, but I think that's pretty interesting. That now, so gosh, so many questions and just about like your whole business model, but we'll get to that. Let's talk about the journey, because obviously we talk a lot about starting a business, and a lot of people listen who are entrepreneurs or who are looking to start their own businesses. Mm-hmm. What steps did you take to actually get your photography business off the ground?
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a backstory with it. So like I said, it kind of started in high school when I first piqued like somewhat of an interest in it. It wasn't anything crazy though, so I never really thought about it until I got to college. But my freshman year, I majored in human biology because I had gotten my medical assisting license in high school. So I was determined to go to medical school. I thought I was going to be a doctor or a radiologist or something like that. But after my first semester, I realized how miserable I was. And I was thinking about having to work a 9-to-5 or work those 12-hour shifts at the hospital. And I was like, I can't do this. Right. There's no way. So that's when I think I was on YouTube one day and I came across a photography video. And I was like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about this. I want to try this out again. So it was a lot of free shoots in the beginning for sure. I think just starting a business is hard by itself, but like you're investing so much money into it in the beginning and you're not seeing any return. And that was hard for a while. How I got there was just doing a lot of free shoots. Vendor connections were a huge one, making sure you're connecting with other photographers and vendors in the area. And then just social media was big too, just getting your name out there. So I think those are probably the big 3 things I would say to focus on if you're starting a photography business in particular.
Yeah, I think those are really good tips, and I think that those really lend themselves or extend over into other businesses because the number that you have to make connections and
Mm-hmm.
you have to be willing to. I think I love that you said, that you have to invest a lot into your business, and you may not immediately see
Yeah.
a return. And you're right. A lot of times you have to be willing to give people things for free. Just go out there and immerse yourself in the world in which you are trying to operate. So I think that is super smart. And yeah, and social media, like you,
Yeah.
you just you have to be there. I mean, you
Yeah.
have to figure out a way to. I mean, of course, you can't beat. Nobody can seem to beat the algorithm on
Oh,
Instagram.
definitely not.
It's like, wait, what?
I have,
or or how you're seeing posts like 5 days later. I'm like, wait, what?
yeah.
What is going on
Yeah.
Instagram?
I feel like everyone has such a love-hate relationship with social media. I
Right.
definitely don't like it, but I have to use it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but I definitely have to say Instagram is my favorite of all of them because I just
Yeah.
like yeah, it's like such an easy way to I like and look at pictures,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not have to read or somebody's stories or whatever they're talking about. So let's talk about elopement photography.
Okay.
So why did you pick that as a focus?
Yeah. So actually, elopement, well, getting into elopements was kind of a thing brought on by COVID. So I had shot traditional weddings for 2.5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I had known last year I was kind of thinking about switching to elopements just because I was getting really tired of traditional weddings. Every single one seemed to bleed into each other. They were all the same. And it was because photography to me is like a creative hobby still. I mean, it's a business, but I still want it to be a creative hobby. I don't want to think of it as like, oh my gosh, this is a business. I have to work 9 to 5
Right.
because I
Yep.
wanted to keep that creative aspect. And with traditional weddings, I just wasn't. I mean, I was shooting the same thing over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, you know what, I'm going to switch to elopement photography starting at the beginning of 2020, or 2021, sorry. And when COVID hit in 2020, at the
Mm-hmm.
earlier this year, I was like, you know what, I think this is a good time to switch to elopement. So I just kind of went all in and was pushed into shooting elopements. And I am never going back to traditional weddings. I love elopements.
No, I don't blame you. I think your work is beautiful,
Oh, thank
and
you.
as a person, as a former event planner, wedding planner, and my, you know what? Like when I was looking at your website and reading about you, I was like, wow, like imagine if we had ventured down elopement planning versus
Yeah.
just full on wedding planning. Because yes, you're right. They all really sort of have the same, they follow the same formula.
Mm-hmm.
And it can, and if you're doing it all the time, it can probably start to feel just like an everyday, like 9 to 5, but on
Yeah.
the weekend type job, right? Um, so I think that I really love that piece. But you actually do like start to finish. You also help them plan.
I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So talk about that.
Yeah, so in all my elopement packages, I offer planning assistance. So a lot of the main work, well, a lot of the things I do is I help my couples find their locations. Sometimes they come with me with a location they want, sometimes they don't. Like I just had a couple that had no idea what they wanted to do, and we ended up settling on Olympic National Park in Washington.
Hmm.
So I do a lot of the location scouting. I also create timelines for them. I connect them with vendors, so I have a list of recommended vendors. Basically, I mean, I don't like to call myself a planner, but I try to do everything that a planner would do. Just
Right.
because planning a wedding is stressful enough, so I want to offer them a really good experience, and I want them to remember me as someone who like really took their elopement day and their wedding day above and beyond.
And obviously, with COVID, I know you were, you made a switch or you pivoted earlier to
Hmm.
elopement weddings. Have you seen that increase during this time since people
Yeah.
aren't able to have like large gatherings?
Yeah, there's been a huge increase and I've loved it because I feel like it's getting the word out even more.
Yeah.
Because elopements, I mean, they're still kind of a new thing, especially last year. They were a very new thing and people were starting to break out into the space. But I think COVID really helped push elopements out even more and just kind of make people more aware that elopements aren't just running off to Vegas and getting married in a chapel.
Yes, yes, yes. Because I do think that I think people have seen enough movies and things that they
Yeah.
think that. But I'm telling you guys, if you go and check out Brianna's website and her or Instagram, there's some beautiful scenery, the locations, the couples, just her
Hmm.
work is actually so amazing. Now, because I know people might ask too, do you ever shoot location photography for just couples or engagements or things like that?
Yeah, I do offer engagements. A lot of people, I mean, because I'm based in California, but I live in Idaho, I don't
Mm-hmm.
have a ton of my California couples getting their engagements done by me. I do have some couples in Idaho that have gotten their engagements done. That's about it. I mainly just do elopements.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. And what is that like to sort of travel back and forth? So now, obviously, you're on a Saturday. Yeah, we're on Saturday
Yeah.
here. And are you having to travel this weekend at all, or are
Um,
you
so I actually took the next 2 weeks off. So this weekend we actually, right after
good?
the podcast, we are traveling down to California for Thanksgiving week. So but
Very
yeah,
good.
yeah, traveling is, I mean, I've always wanted to travel for work
Mm-hmm.
and I love it. It's
Mm-hmm.
definitely exhausting though. I think a lot of people go into it thinking, oh my gosh,
Yes.
I'm just gonna like travel the world and take pictures. And that is not it. When you're traveling, you're working, you're not on vacation.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I mean,
But I know you enjoy it, but I think that
yeah.
that is definitely something that you have to, that's great information to share because I do think like people see certain things when people are doing them and thinking like, oh,
Hmm.
okay, yeah, it's so great. You just do this or whatever. And people don't always think about the work that has to go into pulling it off. So
Yeah.
kudos to you for taking off the time. You
Thanks.
deserve it, especially as a now. In let's switch back over to college
Okay.
for a second. Now, talk about how do you maintain a balance between running the business, being a wife, and being a student, and what type of boundaries have you set up to ensure that you keep that balance?
Hmm. So planners save my life 100%. I am a big planner. I love routines.
Mhm.
I thrive off routines and I love to work, which can definitely be a downfall as well.
Right.
So working, especially in the beginning of my business when I was trying to build it up, working took a lot of time away from my family and it took a lot of opportunities away from me as well. And setting boundaries can definitely be hard, but today I've just learned to say no to couples and to other activities because I don't know who said it, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows this, but when you say no to something, or when you're saying yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So when
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying yes to a booking, that means I'm saying no to spending more time with my husband. So things
Mm-hmm.
like that. So I've learned that myself and my mental health comes first always. Um,
Yes.
and if someone approaches me about something that they need done, I always say, let me check my schedule first and I'll get back to you. Because in the beginning, I was very much, yes, 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 yes. Let me take on everything. I'll do it,
Right.
whatever it takes. So, yeah, I've just learned to say no. I've also learned to exercise and meditate and just really listen to my body and rest when I need to rest.
Yes, I love that. I mean, that is so powerful, especially coming from someone at your age. I just have to say. So I'm
Thank
so
you.
so impressed with the fact that you have already gotten to a place that takes so many of us. I am a lot older than you. That's all I'll say. But it takes some of us a long time to get to a place of really being able to say no to things and not, feel like you're not letting somebody down. So
Mhm.
I think that is amazing, because that is definitely the way. And some of the things you said, like meditating, like I've been meditating this year, and it's amazing how like
Yeah.
just a 10-minute meditation can just like change, like it just, I don't know how to explain it, but it's so relaxing.
Yeah. It
and
just
and
changes your whole mood. It
yeah,
really does.
yeah. And I think so. You said you definitely like planners. Do you have a favorite planner that you use?
I don't. I just like grab a random one from Walmart or something.
Are you a
I'm
sticker
really just
girl?
like, huh?
Are you a sticker girl? You putting stickers in there?
No, I just mainly like, I don't know, I'll just write out like my daily goals, or I use Google Calendar a lot on my phone. So that's
Uh-huh.
another one that I use.
I know. I was telling somebody, I was talking to a friend of mine that is also an entrepreneur. And so I was just saying to her on the phone, I was like, yeah, I was like, I use my planner. I have to, on Sundays, like I look at the week, and I'm
Hmm.
like, so I'm like, I've got Glow Up Girl, I've got just Kyra stuff, I've got my everyday job stuff. So I'm like trying to make sure that I'm not scheduling things on top of each
Yeah.
other. And so like I started this podcast actually in May. I started the business in March, of course, right at the time that
Hmm.
coronavirus just was taking off. And then I started this podcast in May, and I was, just pouring, like you said, you have to pour a lot. Like I feel like I've been pouring a lot into this business because I do want it to be successful. And
Hmm.
but I've also tried to balance out and find the time in saying no to things, or I'm going to take off this week because I need to spend time with my husband and the puppy. And something similar to you, like I got one day I'm off from my regular job next week, and I've got one day of work for a Glow Up Girl, and then I'm like taking off.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I just I kudos to you, because I think
Thank
that's
you.
so very important. What are you looking forward to in 2021?
A lot. I think I just like, one of my main goals is just to try to book an international elopement, just because I
Mhm.
haven't had one yet, but I think that would be super cool.
Yeah.
I think just like diving more into elopements, just because I kind of did half traditional, half elopements this year. So
Hmm.
I'm just really looking forward to going all in. Yeah, I mean, just
Yeah.
I don't know what's coming, but I'm excited for it.
I know. I think that is definitely positive, a way to think. Even with this year, for everything for all the uncertainty that it's
Hmm.
given us, there has still been this almost like this waiting with like on your tiptoes with
Yeah,
anticipation for like what's coming next.
yeah,
and
because
I,
no
and
one knows.
that's yeah. And I just sort of felt like, this year, I've said on a number of other shows that like this year has just been like the year that I didn't know that I needed. It's certainly given me back
Yeah.
the balance in my life. And working from home has been a real blessing, because I've been able to like stop sitting at a desk in an
Hmm.
office all day from like 7:30 to 6:30. And I've been able to like, work out a couple
Yeah.
times a day, to walk the dog during the, my lunch break, and just and even, like have a shut off, like, oh, if I want to stop at 5, like I can stop at
Yeah.
5:30. And
Totally agree.
yeah, I can stop at 5:30. I can take Glow Up Girl calls. I can plan for Glow Up Girl stuff, and podcast planning and things of that nature. So and also just the like even things like meditation. Thing like I never did meditation until this year. And so being able to be introduced to more ways to continue to work on my personal development. And I think that, it's just been amazing for that, for everything that, I mean, there has been a lot of heartache and a lot of loss, and I do honor that, and my heart goes out to
Hmm.
families and people who have lost their lives or their jobs. But I think also we don't want to take it for granted in the
Yeah.
time that it gives to us to really focus in on what matters. So yeah, so 2021,
Here we go.
We're ready for you. All right. So I like to do this thing with my guests where we go through five things with Briana. So first, number one, how do you start the day, Briana?
Okay, so every day when I wake up, I exercise, except for Sundays. Sundays are my rest day.
Yes.
So I exercise from 7 to 8, and then when I come home, I block out an hour of the day for planning. I'm a huge breakfast person, so I love making breakfast, and then just like me time. So just like thinking, yoga, meditation, stuff like that.
Nice, nice. I love that. What's one positive affirmation you speak to yourself daily?
So there's one that I really like. It says, "I'm in charge of my life, therefore anything is possible." Because I think a lot of times we make excuses for why we're not doing something, but at the end of the day, it's just us who is holding us back. So I like to
Yes,
say that.
I like that. I like that. So, number three, how do you push through a challenging day?
My husband is definitely the one that helps. I always talk to him about how I'm feeling. I think it's really important to express your feelings.
Mhm.
And then just self-care. Like I love taking baths. So I'll take a bath at the end of a hard day and just watch YouTube and unwind. And then if it's like an especially challenging day, then I'll just like end work early and just go for a walk or do things that make me happy.
Mhm. Also, so key. Like that is really key. I like what you said. I'll just end the day early.
Yeah.
So, so you answered my next question. So I'm going to throw another one in at
Okay.
you because I don't think I asked you this. So, what are you studying in school now?
So I'm studying sociology. So it's kind of a backup degree in case photography doesn't work out. So if it wasn't to work out, I would want to do something with law enforcement, like
Hmm.
work in the FBI, or I think it would be really cool to be like a forensics photographer because I
Hmm.
could do photography and work in like the law enforcement at the same time.
Oh yeah, yeah, very cool. And lastly, how do you end the day?
So I love cooking. I'm a huge baker and I love to cook, so I always cook a dinner for my husband and I. And then after dinner, I'll try to put my phone down. It's hard, but I'll just hang out with my husband and we take time to talk about our days. And then my husband and I are both religious, so we'll read scriptures and then pray
Mhm.
before we go to bed. And that's about it.
Amen, sister. Yeah. Well, look, you're a baker. You should be taking photos of those your desserts.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
should. I don't cook dessert as much as I want to, just because I
uh-huh.
try to eat moderately healthy, but
Yeah.
but I should.
Awesome. Well, tell the audience where they can find you online and learn more about your business and you.
Yeah, so you can check out my website. It's brianaparksphoto.com. And then all of my social media, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest at Briana Parks Photography.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Briana, this has definitely been a pleasure speaking with you. And I'm going to be looking forward to 2021 for you and seeing you book that international elopement
Thank
and
you.
many more. So I don't think you have to worry about if photography is going to work. It's how big is Briana Parks going to be, is what I see here.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you so much for joining
Yeah,
us.
thanks. It's been so fun. I appreciate you having me on the show.
Stay tuned, guys. I'll be right back.